Hi, and welcome to this week's energy forecast. I am Rachel Thompson Phillips, the creator of Sacred Psychic online program and the creator of the BU Oracle cards. This week's energy forecast is for October the 22nd through to October the 28th. So we are going to be having yet another gorgeous full moon on the 24th if you're in America and the 25th if you're here in Australia. So just check your location as to what date it is that the full moon falls for you. So we're in a beautiful quickening period where our soul is saying to us, hey, you have so much excess old baggage sitting within. We want to clear this for you so we can create beautiful new opportunities and available space for all the magic to appear in your world. But first you must clear this. So you'll be noticing symptoms around, or having an awareness around, old shitty stories that have been playing on repeat for ages, old patterns of behaviors, old emotions, old beliefs all coming to the surface. And these are beautiful gifts because this is the way our soul says, hey, you don't need this anymore. Sometimes our human counterpart goes, oh, I need to hold on to that because if I let that go, I don't know what's there. And I'm not sure if I trust enough in that hoping part that it's going to unfold nicely as people tell me to, so I'm going to hold on to what I've got. This is the moment to just really just take a breath. And this week's overall theme is about you are responsible for your own happiness, that your happiness is an inside job. Okay, so let's see how this unfolds. So Monday and Tuesday is the card of pathways. Wednesday through till Friday is the card of transformation, and Saturday and Sunday is the warrior queen. So let's start off this coming week. So Monday and Tuesday, being the card of pathways, is around happiness, reminding you that your soul is bringing these things up to the forefront for us to clear. The full moon this coming month is the full moon in Taurus. So I'll give you a few characteristics as what might be showing up for you, because even though you may not be a Taurus, the energy of that moon is still going to amplify some of those characteristics back into your world. So some of the really wonderful qualities about Taurians are that they're ambitious, they're reliable, and they're practical. They are incredibly down to earth. They have this beautiful eye to see the beauty of what is around them. They love clothing. They love the beauty of all things. They're also incredibly good with finances, and they're also a very essential group of zodiac. Some of the not so amazing characteristics, because I don't like to say positive and negative, some of the not so amazing qualities about a Taurian is that they're very stubborn. They're self-indulgent. They can be lazy, materialistic, and very possessive. So if you start noticing some of these characteristics show up, remember that that is a way in which the moon is working with you to help you clear the stuff, to help you learn to believe in yourself, helping you to shift what is no longer vibing at the same space as you. So grab the extra support that's been provided to you at this moment to help you clear away all your shit. So Monday and Tuesday is about the pathway of is about the pathway to happiness. And as I said at the beginning, happiness is an inside job. It is a choice. Transformation and letting go, surrendering, whatever it is, the language that you use to be able to clear things, doesn't need to be hard. It really can be as simple as acknowledging what is coming up, decide whether you want to keep it or not, and if the answer to the question is no, you don't, then just simply let it go. It can be that simple, and therefore we get to be in a space of more happiness, because guess what? When we actually let go of things that don't make us feel awesome, immediately you feel this one, emotional release from it. Two, you feel so much gratitude and joy and happiness within your own self because you've decided to make that commitment, that you just don't want that filling up your energetic space anymore. So this is where we can take that responsibility and just decide that I don't want this anymore, and don't get caught up in everything. Emotional mastery is about being able to understand that we will always have memories of experiences and people that may have hurt us in the past. But the mastery comes is when we can think about that and we're no longer triggered by it anymore. And that is what our soul is really guiding us to at this point, is that emotional mastery. Because when we attain that, we have so much more freedom of expression to be yourself, because when we have old past pains and old past experience that revisit all the time, we're being triggered. So therefore we're not getting to be not so much the best version of ourselves, but we don't get to stand in that space where you're bringing everything of yourself to the equation, because you're bringing everything of yourself part along with all of the baggage with you. And that's not how it's supposed to be. We're supposed to be working in a space where we move forward, clear our stuff, move forward, clear our stuff, move forward, clear our stuff. And it works in these beautiful cycles, just like the moon does. It goes through all of these amazing cycles, and each particular area of where the moon sits is there to help guide us. Well, that's exactly what your soul is doing right now, and it's saying to you, your pathway to happiness is simply by just letting go. Don't resist, don't fight, don't get into this internal dialogue where you need to argue with yourself. If you find you do that, get up, walk away, go and think about something else, and then when you can come back with a clear objective. And some people are going to, there's going to be not so much two types of triggers, but two types of ways in which people address these emotional triggers at this point. Some people are going to get to the fuck it mode. So I do apologize if you are not into cursing, then just, I do apologize. But you reach that fuck it mode where you have absolutely had a gutsful of the emotional torment from that past experience. And you get to the stage where you go, fuck, I will do whatever. I just want this gone. And there's going to be other people that move into that space where they're exhausted and more quieter and reserved around that, but reach that also point that just goes, you know what, I am so sick of feeling this way. Show me what I need to clear, and I am all on board to just let this go. So don't judge yourself because each experience that you have attained along the way is going to have a different emotional trigger. Some of that is going to require the fuck it mode, and some is going to, trigger off this more quieter, reserved thing. It doesn't make any point as to which mode you move into. So please don't go into a space of judging yourself. If it helps you clear, then that's all that makes any difference. Don't get caught up in the judgment. This all helps prepare us for the transformation that happens from the full moon, because as I said, the full moon is the 24th and 25th. So I believe that's Wednesday, Thursday, which is exactly when this transformation comes in. So go in and ask yourself leading up to the full moon. I think exactly like working with oracle cards, if anyone's heard any of the work that I do, it's important to be able to ask the right question when working with oracle cards to be able to get the most optimal outcome for yourself. Your mind works exactly the same. Ask the most relevant question to be able to help you get the outcome that you want. So using that as a reverse engineer, you want to be able to clear this. When this old stuff comes to the surface, it's important to use that same reference point of asking the right question. And this is how we do it. When a situation or just an old memory, an experience, whatever it is that pops up into your consciousness, the most greatest question that you can ask yourself is, what do I need to be able to clear? What needs to be transformed, or what needs to be healed in this situation? As soon as you ask that question, your mind must go, and your mind and your soul must go find the answer and retrieve it and bring it back to you. This way that you can understand, because what happens is when we think of an experience, we think about the whole unfolding of what it took for that situation to unfold. And we start to think, well, I've looked at this and I don't know what more I need to be able to do to let this go. Sometimes it's not about looking at the whole overall picture. It may be looking at just a snippet of what that experience was for you, and being able to clear and work on that. So it could be I'm just going to throw out a few different examples here to be able to help you. It could be, how did you feel in that situation? Like, what was triggered for you? Did you deny something within your own self? Did you suppress something around this experience, around your thoughts, feelings, and emotions? What did this experience bring up for you within your own self? Remember to bring it back to you, because the experience affected you. So you want to be able to look at, how did it affect you? So look at that little snippet and ask that question of what needs to be healed, what needs to be transformed, or what needs to be cleared. That way you're not thinking that you need to clear the whole thing, when in actual fact it could just be a tiny little fragment of that that whole situation that only requires that healing, transformation, or clearing, you can gain that completely new perspective once you've got that deeper learning and understanding as to what that lesson is. You can move forward, and it makes it so much easier to be able to let go. See, we as humans, we resist letting go if we don't understand what it is that we're supposed to be able to let go of and why. So by asking these beautiful questions of what needs to be healed, what needs to be transformed, or what needs to be let go, it helps us to be able to gain that deeper understanding of why this experience happened in your world, and you take the lesson forward, not the whole experience and the emotional triggers. So this is how we start to really, really transform how we feel around these old experiences. And when we do that, we move into the space of the warrior queen. Now, the warrior queen for me is this. When I designed this card, to me, it was this moment of when you just have something deep within you that just lets you know that you're on the right track. Now, you may not have every single step in the equation to be able to understand how to get yourself from point A to point B, but you're going to back yourself because you know deep within yourself that you wouldn't follow this guidance if for some reason it didn't resonate with you. So just trust the feelings, trust the gut instincts that come up, and back yourself all the way. And this is that moment where other people are not always going to be able to understand what you're doing or why you're doing it. But please remember, your journey is designed for you, and other people don't need to understand what you're doing in order for you to follow your own intuitive inner knowing at this point. All you have to do is you have to know within your own self that this is the right thing for you. And by you following and believing in your own self and taking those steps in the direction that you want to go in, eventually the other people around you will start to be able to understand, oh, now I understand why you're doing this. So remember, your journey is always based around you. And I think it's incredibly powerful how we start off this week around understanding that happiness is your inside job. We do the inner work, and we're followed up this weekend by that inner knowing and trusting and believing and backing in ourselves. So as you can see, everything this week has a beautiful placement to help us get to this outcome of trusting and believing in our own self. So I hope you all have an incredibly amazing full moon. I have, last week I did a Facebook Live on ways in which to be able to help clear our shit, because that's exactly the expression that I use when I have all of this old baggage coming up. I literally call that it's just shit. So hence why the workbook that I created it's called Clear Your Shit. This is something that I am deeply passionate about. This is something that I have found so many people get so stuck and trapped in their own minds and within being frozen to be able to move forward and chase their dreams because they're so consumed by all the old stuff that is sitting, the deep hurt and pain and suffering is sitting condensed within our physical body. And it doesn't, when we have that filling up so much space, we don't have the space to believe in ourselves and trust ourselves. So I'm a big believer in clearing that. Hence why I'm a big lover of the moons, because I think we have these beautiful support networks from provided to us by the universe to help support us through our journey. So what I'm getting to in that long-winded part is that I provided a beautiful PDF to be able to help people be able to shift and clear their shit this week. You will find that there will be an attachment below this video. If you want to be able to download it, please go ahead, feel free, and work through the exercises. They're very, very simple, but they're also about commanding that space, about believing in yourself and backing yourself to help you move into that amazing, gorgeous warrior queen that is within each and every one of us. So have a wicked, wicked week. Much love to you all. And remember, the moon is also around being able to put our gorgeous crystals or our healing tools or our oracle cards or anything of that is beautiful to be able to come in and be able to be cleansed underneath the full moon. So remember, it's a beautiful time to be able to put all your little goodies out underneath the full moon and have them to be cleansed, and so that they can have all of that old dense energy removed and be sparkling and feeling all magical and mystical and amazing for you to continue working with as part of your support network. So take care, have a wonderful week, and I'll see you again next week.